So next up, we have a presentation from Peak Rare Earths with the ticker code PEK, a company focused on the development of their high-grade rare earth project in Tanzania. To tell us more, today we are joined by CEO Barden Davis. Good morning, Barden.
Good morning.
Let me bring up your presentation.
Okay, thank you, Jane, and good morning to everyone. I draw your attention to our disclaimer. So Peak is a rare earth development company closely aligned to thematics that Reg has just talked through in terms of decarbonisation and the rise of electric vehicles and renewable energy. We're focused on the development of the Naguala Rare Earth Project, one of the largest and highest grade undeveloped rare earth projects in the world. So Peak today is in the strongest position in its history. We've got a compelling sector outlook supported by the rise of electric vehicles and renewable energy. The Naguala project is absolutely world-class. It's a high-grade bastnasite form of mineralisation, low levels of radionuclides, a plus 24-year life of mine supported by JORC-compliant ore reserves. The Naguala project has also been substantially de-risked. We've got a binding framework agreement with the government of Tanzania. We've been granted a special mining license. We've adopted a sequenced development approach that lowers upfront capex and funding and also materially reduces technical and commissioning risk. There's also significant exploration and development upside in our project. So our ore reserves account for less than 20% of our resource base. We've also encountered high-grade intersections of fluorspar, niobium and phosphate, and we're undertaking a new drilling campaign on those at this point. Tanzania, already an established mining jurisdiction and rapidly improving under the presidency of Samia Suluhu Hassan. We benefit from a very supportive relationship with our major shareholder, Shenghe, who we put in place a strategic and offtake MOU towards the end of last year. Strong across board, technical and management teams, as well as our on-the-ground team in Tanzania. Very much committed to ESG best practice. We've also developed an excellent relationship with the Naguala community, which we support through the funding of classrooms, teachers' houses, medical clinics and local infrastructure. So over the past 12 months, Peak has made substantial progress on multiple fronts. We've adopted a low capex stage development approach. We've completed a bankable feasibility study update. We've signed a strategic and offtake MOU with Shenghe. We've incorporated 2 Tanzanian entities in partnership with the government. We've executed a binding framework agreement, secured a special mining license. We've enhanced the board through the appointment of Russell Scrimshaw as executive chair and Ian Chambers, Nick Bowen and Hannah Badanak as non-executive directors. In May, we completed a $27.5 million equity raising. We've started a new exploration program targeting critical minerals potentially in our deposit. And now we're working hard towards a target final investment decision before the end of the year. So Peak is very much distinguished from its peers on the basis of its high grade. Our ore reserves have a TREO grade of 4.8%, but even more importantly, our NdPr grade, which accounts for over 92% of the value of our product, is second only to Lynas's Mount Weld project. So as I mentioned before, Tanzania, already an established mining jurisdiction, 4th largest gold producer on the African continent. But under the presidency of Samia Suluhu Hassan, we've seen significant enhancement in Tanzania's international profile, both from a diplomatic as well as a foreign investment perspective. So the president has addressed the floor of the United Nations. She spent a significant amount of time promoting the country and foreign investment in the US, the Middle East, Europe, and China. Under her presidency, we've seen increasing focus on the mining sector, the granting of multiple framework agreements, but equally as important, we've seen a much more collegiate and commercial approach being adopted by the government. Tanzania, historically known for gold and diamonds, but as you can see from the map, bestowed with a high-quality suite of critical minerals projects, not only rare earths, but also lithium, graphite, and nickel. On the nickel side, BHP's recent $90 million investment in Kabanga Nickel is seen as a major endorsement of the country and the mining sector by one of the global majors. So mid-April, we executed a framework agreement or investment agreement with the government in the presence of the president. That agreement supports robust returns to Peak and strong alignment with the government. You'll see that the government's got a 16% free carried interest. We like that as a concept. If the project is doing well, we want the government to benefit. If there are some times where the project is doing less well, then the government feels some of that pain. So in terms of the special mining license area, it's that red rectangle. It's approximately 18 square kilometres. As part of the framework agreement, the government has undertaken to expand that to incorporate 2 additional prospecting licenses. That would give us 54 square kilometres. We do not need all of that area. So we're going through a process at the moment where we're doing some surveying and determining which areas within those prospecting licenses we would like to include within the special mining license area. On the right-hand side, you can see our corporate structure. If you're wondering what the crocodile is doing there, Mamba in Swahili means crocodile. So October of last year, we signed a strategic and offtake MOU with our major shareholder, Shenghe. That was closely aligned with this staged development approach that we've adopted, which entails initially focusing on the production of a high-grade concentrate before looking to proceed further downstream. So key elements of that MOU included offtake, provisional of technical support, the potential for a project level investment. That's important because it gives us an opportunity to materially reduce our equity funding requirements. We also implemented a standstill arrangement which constrains Shenghe to a 19.9% stake and provided them with a board seat where they maintain a plus 10% shareholding. So a little bit more about Shenghe, Chinese privately owned enterprise, non-OSOE, listed on the Shanghai Stock Exchange, and we think uniquely positioned to add value to the Ngualla project. So largest importer of rare earth concentrate into China, internationally recognized for their technical expertise, particularly when it comes to the processing of bastnäsite mineralization. And of course, they've got a highly successful track record in terms of cooperating with MP Materials in the US, in which they have a 8% shareholding. So MP Materials, with a market cap of plus US $4 billion, provides us with the perfect roadmap. Both the MP Materials Mountain Pass and Ngualla projects, high-grade bastnäsites, low levels of radionuclides, and can produce high-grade concentrate. MP has been very successful in leveraging Shenghe's 8% shareholding, along with offtake technical and funding support to successfully restart the Mountain Pass project, initially as a concentrate-only operation. Since then, with the assistance of Shenghe, they've expanded production, they've optimized the use of reagents, they've boosted concentrate grade and recoveries. Now, as part of a sequence development approach, they're moving further downstream into the production of an NdPr oxide and longer term into magnets, which creates a really interesting opportunity in the market for Peak to fill that void in the Chinese concentrate market. So as you can see from this slide, Ngualla compares very favorably to Mountain Pass on multiple fronts, but Peak trades at an enormous discount to NP, which you can see on the bottom right-hand side, which really provides us and our shareholders with substantial upside. So we believe Ngualla has the potential to be both multi-generational as well as multi-commodity. To that end, we've recently commissioned a new exploration program focused on the critical mineral potential of the project. That program is targeting the northern zone, which sits to the north of our bastnäsite zone, which forms the basis of our ore reserves, as well as the breccia zone to the northeast. We're targeting, as part of that campaign, we're targeting high-grade intersections of niobium, fluorspar, phosphate, and heavy rare earths that we've encountered in the past. The program entails about 40 RC drill holes, about 4,000 meters of drilling, Importantly, we've also engaged SRK to develop a conceptual geological model that will be used to delineate prospective mineralisation and further refine our drill target. So as we're working towards a final investment decision before the end of the year, we're targeting a series of de-risking milestones and news flow across all of our key work streams. We see these as important catalysts around supporting a re-rating in the share price and addressing the substantial discount that we see to our intrinsic value. Thank you very much.
Bardon, thank you for the great presentation. Let me just jump into some questions now. So for the final investment decision, what type of financiers are you in discussions with?
So we've been running a process for about 18 months with a debt advisor. We've got broad engagement for a combination of export credit agencies, commercial banks, and African-focused development banks. So that process is going well and is aligned with that final investment decision.
Wonderful. And just in addition to that, in addition to the FID, and you already have spoken about this in your presentation, but perhaps if you can just reiterate to our webinar attendees what news flow they can be looking forward to over the next sort of 3 to 6 months.
So we've got a number of key work streams. So we've discussed funding. We've on the offtake front, we've signed our MOU with Shenghe. We're in the process now of negotiating a binding offtake agreement. So hopefully significant news flow on that front. On the technical side, we've commenced front-end engineering and design, early works, procurement strategy around long lead items. So there's a series of technical milestones that we see coming ahead of that final investment decision. As I mentioned, we've also commissioned a new exploration program focused on the critical mineral potential of the project. So again, we're hopeful that we're going to be in a position to release some positive drill results over coming months.
Wonderful, Bardon. Well, that's what we've got time for today, but I want to thank you for joining us on Broker Briefing.
Okay, thank you very much.